Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Today I have two great projects for you using the cracker and treat box dies. These are from the annual catalog, but they are great for the holiday season that's coming up. I know as crafters we start talking about the holiday season halfway through the year, because really this is a big time of year for craft fairs. It's a big time of year for holiday prep, if you're doing anything holiday wise, Christmas cards and all of that. So we start talking about it really early. I know it's only August, but this is a great die because it makes this little treat box really easily and quickly, because it's really, you just run this big die. There's some little labels inside of the spaces here, but this big die, you just run it through with your cardstock or paper, and it just comes together really, really easily. So I made that one, and I'll show you in a second another one that I made. I combined two of the dies, gave it a bottom, and then it turned it into a bigger treat holder, if you will. And so both of them are great. I think, well, I love this one. This is really, I think, the original, what was meant to make. And just think about this, how cute this would look on a dinner table. You could use the little labels and use them as place card holders. This just really will decorate up a nice, like a table setting. But they're also great little favors to have on hand. Think about having a basket by your door if someone stops by, and then you get them to pick one as they leave, just as a little something, cute little something. And I will show you what type of candy fits in here later on in the video. So good morning to everyone who's joining me this morning. I'm going to pop over so we can get through all of the two projects, and I'll talk with you afterwards. As always, I have a project sheet that I will be sending out on Saturday. I didn't get it done in time this morning, but it will be emailed to you on Saturday. And but you need to be on my email list to get that. So if you look down below in the description of this video, you might have to click on see more to see this. But you will see the link to join my email list, and it's free, and all you need to do is join, and on Saturday you will get this project sheet in your inbox, and it will just walk you through the steps of creating, especially my bigger project, because that one it needs a little explaining on how to put it together. It's not hard, it's just that it's not the way the original intent of the die. So anyway, those project sheets are really helpful. So, but if you have questions while I'm live, or if you're watching this as a recording, if you have a question later, just let me know so that I can answer it. Okay, I'm switching over. Let's take a quick look at this other little project that I made. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger than this little one I made. And look how cute. This forms a star shape up at the top and how it closes. I used the handmade wishes bundle to just create the little tag. For this one, I used the Christmas banner dies. I didn't use the dies from this bundle. I just used the greetings, and then I went back to the cracker and treat box dies because they have a whole bunch of little labels. It's just that this die does not have a bundle. It's just a die that is a standalone die. So there isn't a specific greeting set that matches it, but both the handmade wishes and the Christmas banners have some small enough greetings to put in there, but I did really want to say Merry Christmas, so I grabbed the Merry and the Christmas and I put it on there for these. So this little guy, it is made with two of the pieces, and then it uses, if I can turn this over, the layering circles for the bottom. Okay, So let's take a quick look. So to make the boxes, you definitely will need this. This is the hand cracker and treat box dies. So you need this to make the smaller one. If you're making the bigger one, you'll want to get the layering circles or have some other circles that you can use to create the bottom. And then the handmade wishes bundle I used for one of the tags, and the Christmas banner I used for the words for the other one. All right, I have so little room here today. Got lots of stuff sitting out here, including candy, which don't let me forget to show you what kind of candy fits in there afterwards. Okay, so let's start off. We're gonna cut both of these right away. So when you're cutting this, you're going to need a 5 by 6 inch piece of designer series paper or cardstock. You can use either. The designer series paper is really nice though, and I'll just show you which one I'm using. This is the Boughs of Holly designer series paper, and this is just gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas paper. I'm just gonna pull some out just to show you. So we've got this, and we've got a neutral background. I'm gonna pull out the full sheets so you can see the full sheets. We've got this one, and then this is the background. Oh, come on. And then we have this tree one, and this is the background. Then this is this one, and then this neutral background. Then we've got this one with this neutral, and then we have this one with this kind of red and green background. This is just really nice paper, nice red and green paper for the holidays, and it does actually match a bundle. But the part of that bundle, the stamp set, is not available to order right now, so I didn't even want to show that today. I will use that on another project in the future, but this paper is just gorgeous in general for your Christmas projects. So you need a 6 by 5 piece of paper to cut this out. So that, I just wanted to show you that. But if you want to make this project and you have a paper that has a definite up and down pattern, I wanted to show you how you can cut your paper so that you retain the up and down pattern. So you'll see that this die, this is the up and down, right? So, so what you want to do is you want to lay your die on the paper. And this is the 5-inch side right here, and this is a 12 by 12 piece. So you can see this is the up and down. So we want to cut this paper right here at 5 inches coming down this way. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer, pop my paper in here at the 5-inch mark. Oops. Move this to one of the ends, and then let's cut that right down here. And we're going to need 2 pieces to make my bigger one. So we're going to cut this at the 6-inch mark. Okay, and so now these 2 pieces should be oriented correctly for the up-down pattern. All right, and now we'll need our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And let me roll this out real quick. So we'll start off, we're going to do the single one first. So I'm going to cut it first. So all I'm going to do is lay this on here. And if you're not sure of the sandwich, let me just tell you what that is. We've got, base plate number 1, thin die adapter number 2, which wasn't in place. Clear plate number 3, your paper with your die with the cutting surface down, and then the number 3 plate. And you can't see this because it's off camera, but I'm cranking this through. Oh, and I'm also putting this through just on a bit of an angle because this is a really straight solid line, and it just helps going through the rollers if it's on a bit of an angle and it doesn't have to go over that big straight line. So just twist it just a little bit. Will make it a lot easier to crank it through. I want to show you how easy this is. Okay, I'm going to lift this up. Okay, look at that. It is all done for you. And if you need to, you might just need to pop these out depending on how tight your machine is. You might just need to go like that. But this one's a very easy one to pop those pieces out of because they're very, they're large. I'm just gonna scrape those off into my garbage. And now we're gonna cut 2 more times. You can see how this is going to be really quick and easy. Like say you have 12 people at your Christmas table. You're going to be able to crank these through really quickly. You know, I know that some people have made these before just by scoring and cutting. And so you just pop those out. Here's another piece. And let's put this off into the garbage. And then we'll do one more. But you can just crank these through, and I'll show you in just 1 second how to prep them. And the good thing is once you've cut the paper to the 5x6, the die only will fit on there in one direction. So you can't make a mistake afterwards with it. You just run it through and it should be correct. All right. Okay, so we do need to cut some circles for the bottom. And guess what? I left my paper across the room. The one thing I forgot. Always have to forget one thing. So let me go grab some cardstock for the bottom. I'm going to use a matching color, so I'll see if I have some evergreen that's close and handy, and if I have that, I will use that. Okay, let's see if this piece of evergreen is big enough. Okay, so we're going to need the 3rd largest smooth circle, so 1, 2, 3, so it's this one. Yeah, this piece should be big enough. So I'm just going to cut 2 circles. We need 2 to create the bottom. If you do 2, it just helps make your bottom nice and sturdy. So I've got 1. And then I'll do a second one. You can crank through either direction. Usually I only crank through in one direction because, well, it's just the way my arm likes to go. There we go. So I think we have, oh, you know what I'm also gonna do? While I have my machine out, let's have a look at this. So I've got Merry and Christmas on little stamped die cuts. So if we want to cut that, I'm going to show you right now how to do that. Let's cut 2 of these labels. One we're going to have full size. So we'll just run that through. I'm going to stamp Christmas on this one. Okay. But I want to also make one that's a little shorter. So if you have a shorter word like Merry, you can cut it smaller. So you're going to first of all run this through full size. And then I'm going to make this a little shorter. So I'm just going to shrink this a little bit. I'm just moving this a little shorter. I'm just going to have a look. Maybe I can make it 1 dot a little shorter. Actually, it's interesting how the those little dots kind of anchor in the existing dots, and they kind of just help with the alignment. Okay. Oh, it's shifting a bit. I've got it on a lumpy spot. Let's see if I can. I'm twisting it a bit. You know what wants to shift? I'm going to move it down further on my machine to an area. I've got a little bit. I know what I'm going to do. I'm flipping this over so it's rounded. It's going to not wibble wobble. Or the other thing you can do is you can use some Post-it note tape to hold it down while it's running through so it doesn't shift on you. That's the other thing. Okay, so I just wanted to show you there. So you can make it a little smaller and show you the difference. There are two different sizes now. So you can do a little smaller word without having that big label. Okay, I think now I have done all my die cutting, so I don't have to bring out my machine again. So let me pop that aside. All right. So let's start off with the smaller one. We're going to be making this one first. And so normally, if I was doing this with cardstock, I would use my bone folder to reinforce those score lines. But this is designer series paper. It's a little bit more delicate. So I will not use a bone folder to go over those lines because I don't want that line to break or to start pulling apart. So leave your bone folder aside unless you're using cardstock. With cardstock, it's thicker, so you can be a little rougher with it. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to carefully fold over like this. And carefully, I'm finding the score line and fold over like this. Just pressing a little bit with my fingers, but not too much. And then I'm going to do the same with this. Just one at a time. See how easily this is, like so easy. So easy. Okay, so now just take a look. One of these is these two ends are going to overlap, and so they're going to come together like this. Okay, so we need to bring in some glue. And I'm just going to put glue all on this end piece. So I want it on the whole thing because it's all going to overlap. And then I'm going to bring this together. I'm going to use my fingers in the holes right here to help align it so that it really does align nicely. And then I'll press down gently. You have a few seconds with the glue to move it, but I find if you kind of pinch it right where it comes together, you're going to get really good alignment. And then just give it a little squeeze. With this light paper, this glue starts sticking really, really quickly. Okay, so you can see it's already starting to take shape. So the ribbon that I love to use with this is the Open Weave ribbon. This one's an Evening Evergreen, and it matches almost all the colors in the paper. And green is a great neutral color. So this is such a great ribbon. And you just bring these little guys together. I don't spend too much time folding them. Notice I didn't fold them before because there's just a tiny little piece. You can see it's just this tiny little connector piece that is the score line that's bringing that together. So you don't have to spend a lot of time folding that. So you'll need about maybe 6 inches if you're just going to do an easy little tying. So I'm just going to bring this around. You want to tie one end first, fill it up, and then tie the other end. So I'm just going to come in. The interesting thing I found about this was that I didn't really have to do a double knot. This ribbon actually cinches quite nicely with a single knot. And the good thing about that is if I did want to put something different in there and take it out afterwards, the single knot, if you take like a piercing tool, you can probably pick at it and open it up again. Or you can take a little bit more ribbon and tie bows on the ends of them. Okay, so it's a little difficult with all of this, and it's a delicate paper, so you don't want to be like messing around trying to stick candy in here so you decide what you can put in there. So let me just tell you, I made this earlier. This is kind of like my treat testing template, because I cut off the end of here. So now I have the opening really accessible so that I can try putting different candy in here so that I don't ruin the end of this by constantly shoving candy in and out of here. So if you want to do a little tester piece so you can test different candy sizes, you can. I'm going to just show you right now what can fit in here from my candy stash so you can get an idea of sizing. So if you want to be really basic, you can take some Hershey's Nuggets and stack them like this, and you can slide them in there and slide them in there. So this one would hold about 4 Hershey's Nuggets because you're going to cinch right here, and there's going to be enough room for it to cinch down. Okay, so that's 4 Hershey's Nuggets. Kisses, I think I did about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roughly 5 kisses will fit into this little box if you have kisses. Lindor truffles, they're a little bit of a tight fit, but they will fit in. Okay, so just shove them in. About 2 of them will fit into this little box. They're a little harder to get in and out, and they may make your box bulge just a teeny tiny little bit, but that's okay because there's no real pressure on them. If you use Tombow glue, I definitely recommend using glue to hold that seam together. That way it's not going to come apart. I prefer it over tear and tape. So 2 Lindors. I did try and shove a Ferrero Rocher in there. It did not work so well. So it's just too big to fit in this opening. So no Ferrero Rochers. Okay, then Dove chocolates. Dove chocolates don't fit quite as well, but you can kind of get 2 if you stack them like this and kind of shove them in like that. You could. It does warp your thing just a wee bit, but if you love Dove chocolate, you could put them in there. About 4 of them will fit. Okay, let's see what else I've got. Okay, miniatures. These, yeah, they're a little not quite sized perfectly for this, but about 3 Hershey's miniatures will fit in there, and I don't think you can get a second stack in there, so it's about 3. It doesn't fill the entire thing, but if that's your candy of choice, you could fit about 3 in there, or you could do 3 of those and a Hershey's Kiss. That would work. All right, and then finally you could also do something like candy. You could do some mints, some Starlight mints. They'll fit in there. Maybe about 4 will fit in there like that. All right, so you can kind of get an idea of the sizing of this little box. The area itself, the length of just the rectangular portion without taking into account the sides is 2.5 inches. So there is a little bit of wiggle room at the end where this tapers, but you've got about 2.5 inches of length right there. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And you can create your own little candy tester tube. Just use it out of craft cardstock and cinch one of the ends, and then you can do that without ruining your beautiful little design. Okay, so I'm gonna shove some kisses in there because that's what I have the most of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like the Count on Sesame Street. Okay, so then we're going to take another little length of ribbon. And we'll just cinch up the other side. Okay. And then we will need our little labels. So I've got Merry and Christmas. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen ink. And just tap, tap lightly. And let's see if I can get this on here. Merry. And then we'll do Christmas. Like that. And then we'll just glue this on. Or you could also use mini dimensionals. That would look nice too. It actually might be easier if you use mini dimensionals, because with gluing it down, you just have to press gently to make sure that you can get it to adhere. And let's do the Christmas. Merry Christmas. So these labels are also great for putting people's names on. Just really easy to do that. Okay, and then what I would do, grab my ribbon cutting scissors, I would just trim off the ends a little bit. On an angle. And there is my cute little favor. It's so sweet, and I have lost my other one. I have, oh, here it is. There we go. So you can make them in all different colors and they all look cute. All the paper in that collection will make really cute favors. All right, so let's make the other one. We've got the little pieces right here. So we're going to prep them in the same way, except, well, let's just go ahead and fold them first, and then I'll show you how I prep the ones to get ready for a flat bottom. So just fold them the same way you would your other ones. And we're gonna have to be careful to make sure our pattern stays up, down like we want it. And then of course we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We'll do the same for this other one. Find that score line. Just be gentle with it because this is designer paper. It's a little bit more delicate when you score it. And then we'll do fold 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's have a look at these. Let's find what is up and what is down. This is definitely up, and this is up too. I can see the top points of the trees. And what I want to do is I want to cut off part of this bottom. I'm going to cut it right along this little tiny score line here. So it's just in between what kind of is like the two triangles. We need these right here because we're going to use them to create tabs. So I'm just cutting along there. Okay, so those will be our little tabs, and make sure we're cutting into the bottom. So we're putting this directionally the correct way. Sometimes we do have paper that has up and down. This one actually, if it was upside down, it would probably not make a big difference because it's kind of a random pattern too, and the trees are very close together. So we're going to glue both of these pieces together. So we'll start on one end, and we want to put Tombow along this whole length of just the one end segment. Except, I should say, you don't want to put it on this bottom triangle. This is the bottom tab. Actually, no, we put it on the bottom triangle too. I keep forgetting that this is going to overlap. So we do want it on this whole thing. We want to adhere this whole side to this whole side so that it becomes one together, later on we'll also put Tombow on the bottom tabs. Okay, so again, it's easier to kind of pinch in here and pinch down here to make sure that aligns nicely. And since I cut off the bottoms, there was only one way to do this correctly, to align it so that all the treetops will face up. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring these two together. So Tombow all along this one, even the bottom tab. Just do the whole thing. And then we're going to align this up, slide it together. So if you want this to be really sturdy, you might want to use cardstock, but I love the look of the paper. It's so pretty. Okay, so you can see how it's starting to come together. So now we're going to flip this over to the bottom where all of these little almost triangles are triangles with flat tops, and we'll push all of these down so that they're kind of parallel to your work surface, so it's kind of flat like that. Okay, and you kind of want it to have a rounded shape, and then I'm going to put a dot of glue on each of the tabs in the center. Okay, then I'll take one of my circles from earlier. Remember, this is the third largest circle. Oh, and I'll measure it for you in case you don't have the layering circles. I know we all have different sizes of circles and stuff. So I realize that some of these tabs are not going to stick properly until I turn this over. So I just kind of want to get it sticking on some of the tabs. It's not an exact science at this point, and I just want to turn this over. And then what I'm going to do is take the second circle, put Tombow on it. This Tombow is going to adhere to the other circle and the tabs. Okay, so it's going to help solidify that bottom. Carefully, I'm going to place this so that the glue side comes down, and then I'll take my bone folder, which is like my second set of hands, and I'm just going to bring this in just a little bit. You can kind of see, sorry, I'm hanging my head over so you can't see, but I'm just going to kind of do this and then press down with the rounded end of my bone folder. I do have pretty small hands, so I can kind of get my finger in there too, but it's a little easier if you use the back end of your bone folder, and then just kind of solidify that bottom. Let me measure this for you in case you're looking for a circle. Circles are circles. So I would say up to about 2.5 inches would work. This is about, my circle is about 2 3/8 inches in diameter. Yeah, so anything smaller than 2.5 will work, but you want something around 2 3/8 because you want those tabs to be able to stick right into both of those circles and kind of keep that rounded shape of your, I don't know, it kind of looks like a pouch to me. So for this, I mean, you could put so many different things in this pouch. Kisses are one of the easiest things. We could put Starlight mints in here since I have them. Let's throw Starlight in these ones so we can see a little different candy. So it really does hold a lot more candy, or a small gift or something could fit in here as well. So to bring this together, I'm going to pinch these together side by side. So pinch 1, pinch 2, pinch 3, then the next one over, 4 and 5. I want to create this little kind of star shape in the center, and this helps trap the candy into the box. You can see that little star shape. It's kind of cute. And then to make this work, need about, if I want to tie a bow, which you don't have to, but you need about, you don't need quite 18 inches, but 18 inches will help you with your tying, and then you can cut off the excess. So we'll just come in and tie a little bow. And if you want to, you can clamp with locking tweezers so it doesn't open. And then you can take your time and tie your bow. And sometimes I like to put my ends through the loop so it looks better. Arrange the bow, make it look cute. All right, unlock the clamp, maybe tighten it a bit more. All right, so you've kind of got your bow right there. And now let's make a little tag for your project. So we're going to use the handmade wishes, or the handmade tag punch. And I'll need a piece of basic white. And I'm actually going to punch first before I stamp. Sometimes we stamp and then punch, but other times we don't. Okay. So, got my little punch. We're going to use Christmas. We're going to use Mary. And these are all from the Handmade Wishes. There's the Christmas and the Curvy Mary. We're going to use the little holly and berries as well. All right, so for this, oh, I didn't die cut one thing and I wanted to show you. I'm going to do this first. I want to put a hole in here, and we can use one of these little stars from here to create the hole. And I just wanted to show you how I decided where to put the hole, because this star actually cuts a lot bigger than the hole you see here. So I kind of put a little mark right about there. I'm kind of eyeballing the centering right there. And we're just going to bring in our die cutting machine one more time. I want to show you how I did this. All right, so there's the hole, and I'm just going to maneuver this, and I'm going to pin this down with some Post-it tape. Or you can use the top of a Post-it note too. And I'm just putting that pencil dot right in the center. And I'm kind of turning it so the star is facing up, although I'm going to stick the ribbon right through there so you won't really see if it's shifted. And then I'm just going to run that through. And I don't know if you can see this. I didn't show this very well, but you can see my pencil mark is right just in the center of the star. Or you can use a hole punch, which is absolutely fine as well. You can definitely use a hole punch if you have a hole punch. I'm just carefully taking off this Post-it note tape. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to take Christmas and Mary and my Evening Evergreen ink pad. I just stuck green all over my finger while I was opening that. All right, I'm gonna use some rubbing alcohol real quick to take it off my hand, because Yeah, it's not going to do a great job. I heard recently that toothpaste works really well to remove ink. I have not tried it yet, and I am not going to run over in the middle of my video to clean this off, but I just want to get the ink off right now so it won't transfer onto my project. It's just unfortunate how I opened that. I wasn't paying attention and I just shifted it down my side. Okay, so let's move on and let's ink up the Christmas. And I'm going to anchor it down here with these two little corners that are coming out. So let's just that right there. And then we'll take the Mary and we'll stamp that over top. And then we're going to take these guys. We'll need cherry cobbler as well. Put this in the center. These are just like little holly berries. And then we'll do this. We'll put this on this side. There is a way that these holly leaves, they orient themselves in one direction or another, and you can kind of twist them to make them fit better. Okay, so I've got my little holly leaves down there, and before I put this away, you can just leave the holly berries like that, or you can grab some red rhinestone jewels. These are great for holiday projects. Rudolph's red nose is always good. This is a great thing, but it just little tiny. So now they're like little sparkly, and those the holly berries that I stamped, they're just a tiny bit bigger than the red rhinestone, and they also help me with my placement so I know where they need to go. So that makes it really easy. Okay, so for this, I have a little trick. I'm going to even out these so they're going to be the same size. So I put these through here, put the ends through, and then I'm going to take the loops, put them together, and shove them through that hole too. This is the easiest way I found to put on the tag. It might not look easy to you, but it just, I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense that it's like right over top of the bow, and so it will slip off really easily. And then you can just come in and do a couple of angle cuts on your ribbon ends. And there is the cute little container. And I like this one because this one, if you stamped something different on this one, the tree one, it could be for birthdays as well. It doesn't have to be for Christmas. It has a definite masculine feel to it. Now, this one right here screams Merry Christmas, the red one, but this one's a little bit more sedate, so it could, you know, either one. They're both very, very pretty, right? So just a cute little candy container. And then we've got these ones that are kind of, you know, for smaller favors. So I hope you like those. I think that's really fun. I did see Dee had a question about those triangles that I threw away so happily, because I don't like to be fiddly, but she said something about could you use them for like a quilt pattern, and I think for sure you could definitely do that. I'm pulling some of them out of my garbage because now I feel guilty, Dee. I feel guilty. I threw all my little triangles into the garbage and now I have to pick them out. Luckily, this is only paper crafting items go in my garbage here, so there's nothing gross in here, unless you call glue, globs, and things like that. But yeah, you could probably do like a cute little pattern with the with these little guys. Like that would look cute. Like as a little border on a card. Now you made me feel really bad I threw them away, because that does look really sweet. I love that, right? So yeah, definitely use those little triangles and make a cute little card to match your 3Ds. So that's a great idea, Dee. Thanks. Thanks. I'm not upset at you. I'm actually really happy you pointed it out. I'm just upset that I'm going to have to pick them out of the garbage now, right? Brenda is going garbage diving now through her paper crafting stuff for all the little triangles that fell down in there. All right. Okay, so let me tell you, all the supplies I used today are down in the description of this video, so you can just click on them. Or if you want to see a photo supply list, then click the first link that you come to, which is the link over to my blog. My blog will also have still photos of the projects that I did today. And then there's a photo supply list, so it's a little easier maybe to navigate than just a text supply list. So go over there. And if you are placing an order to order some of the supplies I talked about today, please use this host code, because this host code will get you a gift. If you spend at least $50 with me in the month of August. Oh, and I should point out, it is celebration too. So this is my gift. They will be the fine sparkle adhesive backed gems. These will be mailed out in September if you use this host code and place an order of $50 or more. If you spend, for every $50 or $100 right now you spend with Stampin' Up, you also get a celebration reward. And right now I think there's about 10 level ones, which are the $50 rewards, and I think there's about 6 level twos, which is for spending $100. And what did I want to point out? Oh, so these dies right here, if you're in the US, these are $36. And then the paper I used today, this lovely, beautiful paper, is $12. So if you buy the dies and the paper, and then maybe get some glue, because this Tombow multi-purpose glue is what I use for all my 3D projects. I think it's $4. So between that, you'd be spending $52, and you could get at least a level 1. So don't just buy the die and then not get a free celebration reward, because the die is like already like $36. Just throw a bit more on there, throw just a little bit more onto your order, and then you can get other things, another reward. And there's a lot of great rewards that you can have. And if you if you pop over to my blog, that very first banner, if you click on that, it will show you all the rewards in a photo list, so you can see the different things. So before you place your order, just double check to make sure that you don't want one of those rewards, because I would hate for you to miss out by spending just a little bit under the limit and then not being rewarded from Stampin' Up as well. All right, I've done a lot of talking, so let's go and have a look at your questions and say hello to all of you who've joined me live. And thank you for joining me live. I appreciate it, because it would be really sad if I were here all by myself. And I love seeing your questions. I love being able to answer them live. So thank you. I go live every 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays. All right, good morning, Marty. Good morning, Red Blue and Birgit and Ramona. Oh, Ramona says, today's moving day and I get to watch you first. Aw, well, thank you for joining. Good luck with your move, Ramona. Good morning, Dee and Cindy from Arizona. And I already answered your diamond scrap piece question. Marty said you could use this with any blue, white, and one of the metallics and make a Hanukkah cracker. That's an excellent idea. You can do them in whatever colors you want, so customize them. They don't just have to be for Christmas, New Year's Eve, for Hanukkah. use them as you see fit. You don't have to do them, you don't even have to do them for this time of year. It's a great die for any time of the year. Really cute birthday favors too if you do them in birthday paper. And it's just a nice little something that isn't going to take you a ton of time to make. Most people already have ribbon in their house. So, but I do really like, if you're going to get that paper, the that ribbon is really beautiful. This one right here is the evening evergreen. I love the way this ties, and it just looks very pretty. It's a really good size for card making. Okay, I am digressing. Okay, let's have a look. Good morning, Karen, from hot and humid New Jersey. Yeah, it's hot and humid here this morning too. My air conditioner just kicked in. Oh, Marty made a good suggestion. Those diamonds could also be turned into triangles, which could make Stars of David. So that's great. Thank you for adding that, because I know we do have Jewish viewers, and I do make things, not a lot of things, but I do occasionally make things for Jewish holidays as well. Like I have a 6-point star, a Hershey's Kiss 6-point star. So I do, when I can come up with an idea, I definitely try and make those too. Good morning, Patty. Oh, Patty says mini Reese's peanut butter cups fit also. Yeah, I think they would. I think you're right, and I didn't test it myself, but you might have the die yourself, Patty, and that's probably correct. Marty says you could also put one piece of candy and a dollar store toy or novelty. True. Yeah, because there are little gifts sometimes in crackers. Good morning, Denise from South Dakota. Great tip about the candy tester. Did you like my little candy tester? I just found that this is going to be a lot more solid to test the candy. Sometimes I even have been known to take my projects to the candy aisle at the store. I just take them with me, and like I hold it up and I'm like trying to like feel the bag. How big is that piece of candy in the bag, to see if it will fit? Because sometimes, you know, this, when you're at the grocery store or Target or Walmart, when you're trying to figure out the candy, your perspective is off for your candy holder. So I either take measurements, or I actually take my box and I kind of hold it there and I'm like, what can I put in here? Deborah said maybe roll up 1 or 2 scratch off lottery tickets. That would be nice. Yes, you'd be a very good friend if you did that, and hopefully the friend would share if they want some. Patty said use some white and gold dot paper with Werther's for shower favors. That's a really nice idea. I like that too. Cindy says she'll use the hugs and kisses. They're delicious. Yes, those white and chocolate striped kisses. And Hershey's has so many types of kisses, all different flavors. And, you know, each year they seem to come out with different flavors. So I'll be interested to see what flavors they come out with this year. I have not yet seen Halloween candy in the stores yet. My grocery store here usually starts putting it out pretty early. So I'm waiting to see if it's going to go out in August already. Let's see. The large box could sit out to hold candy afterwards. True. Yeah. You could leave it open. You don't have to tie this one shut. It can actually just, you know, be an open container. It looks very pretty just sitting there, because if you just push these in just a little bit, it has a really kind of fancy little top. So you don't have to tie this shut, but if you're gonna gift candy, I would definitely recommend tying it shut. Otherwise that candy is gonna be kind of loosey-goosey in there. Dee said you could put a stack of homemade cookies. Yes, you could. You could absolutely put cookies in here. what I would do if I was doing that, you know, just if you're doing cookie cutter cookies, you just need to test them out to make sure they fit. And I would put them in, I would find like a cellophane bag or something to put them in, because cookies do have butter in them generally, or some sort of fat that will not be kind to your paper. So you'll definitely want to secure them inside another, like a cellophane bag, if you do that. For the big box, could you thread the ribbon through the diamond holes? You know what? I've got one here. I did do some experimenting. I did, for this one, I did like a little experiment, and I punched little holes in this one. And I didn't like the way the top looked because there was kind of a webbing in between. So I'm just gonna see what that would look like, Marty. I think because there's no holes, it would have to, I don't know how that exactly would work. You would have to go up, down. I'm just playing with it right now, real quick. I don't know that it would look too pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna say, from what I can see really quickly, I would say no. It doesn't look good. It would look kind of, when I did the holes, so I did little holes in these ones. But there was kind of a webbing between the holes, so it didn't look quite as nice as I thought. So I scrapped that idea. And I think it looks nice if you just cinch the center, and it's a lot easier because you don't have to punch any holes and you don't have to weave anything. But good thought, and it's always good to experiment. Like, you know, I have this experimental piece. I usually do my experiments out of white cardstock first and test things out and see what I can come up with. And you won't find new ways of doing things unless you experiment. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Marty. I couldn't find a way to work. Maybe you can find a way for it to work, but experimentation is like so key if you want to figure out a new way to doing something. So that's great. Let's keep going. Marty said a glass votive would probably fit. Yes. And I remember I measured that circle, which was almost not quite 2.5 inches. So you've got about go a little lower, like maybe 2 3/8 inches that you have to work with in terms of the diameter of your box. Good morning, Lupe. Bear Blue said, both candy holders are so cute. I'm going to purchase this die. Great. I like how creatively you have used this die. Can't wait to get mine. Awesome. The die has a lot of potential. It does. And that's what I wanted to show. It can be used for more than just that simple crocker box. Dee says, to clarify, the crocker die wasn't on my radar, but now I think I need it. Such great ideas. And thank you, Brenda, for your genius creativity bringing this die to life. Aw, thank you, Dee. That's so sweet of you to say. Marty said she wasn't excited about it at first either, but now she is. And the red rhinestones really do add a nice little sparkle, and you get a lot of them on a sheet. Dee says she likes how I threaded the tag through the die. That's really helpful. Cindy said lava soap bar works well to remove ink from your hands. Thank you, Cindy. I will go deal with my green hand afterwards. I just didn't want to have to run to the sink. I just didn't want to transfer it to my project. So is the big cracker tall enough for a gift card? I don't think so, because we're working with 2.5 inches in length for the up to about here. So it would be really tight and a little wonky. So I don't know if this would necessarily work for a gift card. Maybe if you put it in the center, it would work. I guess you would have to try it. If you get the die, you can try. I'm just gonna, well, wait, let me see if I have a gift card handy. Gift cards. I had them handy the other day, and now I have moved them. Oh, there they are. They were right where they're always supposed to be, but they were under something and I looked too quickly. Okay, I'm gonna try the gift card idea, Dee, so that you can get an idea. This is an iTunes gift card. This is on the larger side. So, you know, it's a little large. Oh, let's see if there's a smaller one. There's, you know, different size gift cards. I've got, this is a smaller iTunes gift card. So it fits a little better, but it's still kind of sticking out. So I would say no to the gift card, just because it's a little, but I like the idea. I think it was Patty who mentioned a lottery ticket. You could still like roll that up in there. But if I rolled it up in there, you'd want to make sure the person saw it, because if it gets stuck to the side and you put candy in there as well, they might not know that there's a lottery ticket in there, and they might miss it and throw it out and have thrown away money. Let's see. And Cindy said, thank you for showing us how much candy fits. You're welcome. Linda likes them, that, and she says they're adorable for so many occasions. Denise says, thank you for the great projects and tips today. You're welcome. And Dee said, I love the border ideas with the scrap diamond pieces too, on the inside or outside of a card, or even as a decoration on an envelope. Great idea too. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions after this video is no longer live, let me know. I'm always happy to answer them. That project sheet for these projects is going in the mail tomorrow. Yeah, so join me next week for some more lives. On Tuesday, I go live on Facebook at 10 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, I always go live on my YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Eastern as well. Have a great weekend, everyone, and stay cool. Bye-bye.